And it says we are live. We'll get that too far. There, we'll try that. And it says we are live. I'm here. You're beautiful. It's Thursday night. That must mean it's time for GotBot Goes Live. I, of course, am your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe. And while you are at it, light them up, baby. Hit the notification bell, please. Helps me out a ton. Let you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that's in the description down below. Also in the description down below. And if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through Spring, or, of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. Hope you guys have been having an okay week. I'm not going to say great week because there's not a lot great going on in the world right now, I reckon, which is why we got to be thankful for the bots. Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about DNA Design Studio Series, a couple of Studio Series surprises that I didn't really expect to hear much about. A couple of TFCon notes, YOLO Park. We'll talk about a retro offering, some Takara images, some new in hand of some product, and all of that sort of stuff. Of course, we will do trivia, courtesy tonight of Dragonfly. And we will do this week's unboxing. No, it is not nacelle. The reason I have nacelle here and in the image, by the way, I didn't get a chance to do my usual promo and stuff. The day got away from me. It was one of those days. Reason I have nacelle is because he just very recently got a reissue. A couple of people said, I hope this one doesn't have the mold like the first one had. Again, it's not mold. It is mold release agent. Normally, it is like washed off of products, not just Transformers, but really anything that is made of molded plastic. And we don't usually see that as just part of the process. For some reason, this guy, at least a lot of copies of him, got through without that wash process. Mine didn't. Just dropped them. Mine didn't. Mine never did first or last have the white mold release agent on it. Mine was fine. Mine was fine out of the package. Point being, he's re-released now in 2026, and again, I think that this is a fantastic Seeker mold for the Tetrajets. I would say now, at least for me, especially when it comes to mainline, my favorite Seeker molds, if we're talking Tetrajets, Siege. If we're talking Earthjets, I already know it's going to be the Studio Series Thundercracker. Because I don't like the Earthrise. I just don't. I don't know. It felt 10 years too late. Anyway, we're going to get into the news. Before I do that, let's check in with you guys. I know you guys have been talking, and I know I missed some stuff. Let's see what you guys have. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Let's see what you guys have to say. Hey, Francis. Got Wind Charger and Sure Shot. Nice. Lio Convoy and Air Arachnid in this week. Oh, wow. That's a lot of stuff. I'm assuming that must be the Lio Convoy from Takara. All great. Air Arachnid especially lives up to the hype. See, that's the thing I've been saying for a long time. If you want an Air Arachnid, either get the Night Countess, which is great, but the Transformers 1 looks really good. And everything I've heard has been very positive, which is great because she can even be a stand-in on your Transformers Prime shelf if you really want her to. It's got to be better than that garbage we got in actual Transformers Prime. Happy that you're happy with them. Nice pickup. Scott Brawl and Big Convoy. Might do another run soon. Target 20% off sale. Nice. The Voyagers, the Leaders, they're not out here yet. They're due. They got pushed again, so right now they're due end of the month. Hey, Marcus. Heard 86 Hot Rod is, well, it's not really 86 Hot Rod. It's more than meets the eye Hot Rod on clearance. That's probably the right price to get it. Let's see. Hey, Lance. Hey, Mike. Hey, Master Fire, Blue, Daryl, Maximal 10, Joel, Got Blast Off and Thundercracker today, as well as G1 Grimlock. That's some great pickups. The Thundercracker is so weird because he was so, I don't know how to put it. He was so, hold on. Yeah, okay. Pre-ordered without a date that I guess he's just going to show up whenever he shows up. But it's nice to know that he's showing up here somewhere. I haven't seen him, but cool. I'm glad you got it, man. We are going to jump into the news, and we're going to start things off because we don't have a ton of news this week. We're going to start things off with a sighting in the U.S. And this sighting, where's my thing going? There we go. Sighting was in the U.S. If you're in for Prime Changers, Smash Changers, Optimus Prime, and Optimus Primal, found at U.S. retail. Why you would ever in a billion years want this, I do not know. It's this thing here. It's ugly. Why would you get this when you can get this? And this is so much better. So much better. None of those are out around here yet. But anyway, time will tell, I'm sure. Moving on from that little sighting. Going up. So we saw renders last week of these. This week, we actually see the in-hand prototypes for Barrage and Red Alert. Both look real nice. I like, and also Chop Shop and Tiger Track. Again, we saw renders last week, if not the week before. And really what they're doing is with the Sideswipe lads, they're doing the deluxe Insecticons. With the Datsun lads, they're doing the regular Insecticons. I think it's a good way to do it. Red Alert looks great, honestly. Are all the colors correct? Maybe not, but they're certainly close enough. I feel like that this one is colored very much like the Kingdom Red Alert was. And that one, I think it's the red thighs. I think he's supposed to have white thighs, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what it was. But the red thighs look good. This looks good. You know it's Red Alert. Well articulated. It's Dr. Wu. Excellent little alt mode. Same with Barrage. Barrage looks great. He's his yellow and green self as he always is. And his little stag beetle thingy is fine. I do think there may have been a touch too much yellow on him. I think that the back hair should be green, and I think that if they had done the legs and painted the yellow on, maybe that would have been better. But I don't think it's bad for what it is at all. It's definitely not egregious by any stretch of the imagination. I think the Chop Shop looks great. Same with Tiger Track. I mean, it's only a yellow sideswipe, admitted, but like as far as a yellow sideswipe goes and a yellow Lambo goes, like that looks pretty darn good to me. Same with Chop Shop. He looks great as you would expect him to look. Obviously, this is a like remold, reuse of Shrapnel. I think they're great. Again, micro master scaled, so quite tiny, but I have no reason to think that they would be any different quality from anything else from Dr. Wu. And Dr. Wu does great quality. As we go up, we had this, and I thought this was weird from DNA Design. It's their Max Sword kit. And it says, this is quite an original upgrade kit. We have a new sword for HasLab Omega Prime, which works for Titan Fortress Maximus 2. It includes a base, which can be configured in a battle hammer. The sword can split into several small weapons, so on and so forth. It's neat, but it's so strange that they would do it this way. Like, it just seems like a weird release. It's not something tied to a particular character per se, but a set that could be used with multiple characters, as you're about to see. So we have all of these bits and pieces. They go together or they come apart. Here's some small swords with Prima, the Twin Blade, I think they call it. You know, I mean, both Solus and Vector, I mean, they're able to also have smaller blades with Spark Shot and Crook Fang. Then there's the Argus Mirror Shield. I mean, I think the shield's cool. It's obviously part of like the Master Sword, but that's a cool looking shield, man. Part of the sword there with Titan Star Convoy. And I think that this is actually meant to be like, an edge, right? Like it's not a full-on sword. With Hot Rod, I mean, you have one there. You got another one with Micronus, not Micronus, Alchemist, right? You can see each of the primes kind of gets a bit of a sword and a bit of a part. There's Micronus. And of course, there's Quintus. I mean, cool if you want to give your primes some blasters and stuff. I mean, this could work, I guess, in place of the Triptych Mask. Right? This could obviously be the Magnus hammer, that big hammer that he has, a la animated, for example. Even the IDW one, you could sort of make a version of it to go with him. And then, of course, it all goes together, and you can give it to, yes, indeed, your HasLab Omega Prime. And it is gigantic, as you can see. Or with Titan Fort Max again, it is gigantic. I would like to see them properly re-release the ankles, not at the crazy inflated price that they were charging. That's insane, but at a reasonable, sensible price. It's nice that it can go on his back. I don't know what this will exactly retail for. I don't know if it says up here. No, it doesn't say up there, but it does tell you the name of all of the pieces. I feel like that this is going to be one of those things that the price is going to seem steep for the sake of a big sword, but time will tell. Time will certainly tell. DNA design is kind of known, though, for being a bit pricey, right? I'm not going into all the codes here for the bags, for the tiny turbo changers. Good luck if that's what you're looking for. Interestingly, another U.S. sighting. This one is the Studio Series 1 Orion Pax. My understanding had been that this was like a Takara release, like this was going to be in Japan. We didn't know if it was going to come here, but I guess it is. I don't think the Devastation Bumblebee has been seen yet, but if the Orion Pax is there, you got to believe the Bumblebee will be. This was seen at a was found at a Fred Meyer store in Pocatello, Idaho. Anyway, it was a store in Idaho. But interesting. I don't know if it will be widespread or not, but for whoever got that, congratulations to them, I guess. Then we have this. This was the Takara missing link, and like this was the reveal of all of the stuff with full images. Right. I'm not going to go into it right here. We'll talk about it in a few minutes when we see more of the like product images. And I guess I can go back from there to down here. In-hand images of the Devastation Bumblebee. This comes from, an Instagram user. And it has comparisons, of course. So I didn't know how I was going to feel about this. And then I see it in package. I'm like, man, that's a pretty good looking bee. I still think the chest is a bit too square, but I like the richness of the yellow on it. And I like the cell shaded nature of it. I know this isn't the proper VW bug, but honestly, I think it's a great looking bee. It puts me very much in the mindset of a lot of people have compared this to the Classics Bumblebee, and I get that. I'm not familiar with that mold. I actually have never looked at it, but I get strong vibes as well of Titan's Return Bumblebee from this. Sleek, clean, really, honestly. Even the doors here are pretty clean. I mean, you might complain about this notch, but I think that's where you put the blaster on the side. So it's not a big gripe for me. And this actually does look like a natural door. I'm okay with this molding, honestly. Great looking bot. I know the shins are yellow. That's going to off-put him for a lot of people because, of course, they're part of the hood. And a lot of people will say, hey, I wish his shins were black. But then you'd have black on the hood. So you can't win, I guess. But I do like, again, the richness of the yellow against the black. I like the use of the cell shading. Then we have him next to the 86. His car mode looks a little bit smaller than the 86, or at least shorter, for sure. Maybe smaller overall. And that's interesting. That's an interesting comparison. I also think he's a more successful looking car than the 86. And then when you transform them, the 86 bot is actually smaller. I thought that was crazy. I think both of them have the chest a little bit too square. Neither of them are bad. Like the 86B is still a good B. Great mold. It just wasn't for me because the chest threw me right off. All I could see was bumper. That's all I could see was bumper from the moment that guy got showed. because of the chest. And while the car mode of the 86 is bigger, I'm shocked at how much larger the Devastation one just generally seems to be. Both got kind of a hella backpack. They look great together. Like you have the Wheeljack, you have the Optimus, the B, and the Sideswipe. Now, the argument is going to come from a lot of people, I'm sure, and I think you're right, that the Optimus is too small next to the rest of them. And I think you're right. I think he is too small. I don't know why they did the deluxe form. I think he should have at least been a Voyager. I feel like a lot of people here would end up replacing Optimus with even like the Earthrise done with like cell shaded stickers or something. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe some people would say, no, man, that's exactly the size Prime should be. But I feel like Prime's a little small here. Great Prime. I just think it's a bit of a scale. But like, looks great. It's a dandy looking bee. If you're not into the yellow on the shins, I get it. But other than that, I think it's a pretty darn good looking bee. Flint Dilly will be at TFCon LA. Of course, a Generation 1 writer, we all know Flint. Also, look at the picture of Galvatron that they used here. This is why I personally stuck with the like Kingdom Legacy Galvatron instead of going with the 86 that I thought was a little too blue. Because when I think of Galvatron, I think of this deep purple. And I feel like the Kingdom Legacy one is this deep purple. But that's just me. If you thought he was more of the like bluish purple, indigo-y purple, if you will, of the 86, then I guess go with that. I just thought it was interesting to point out that this looks very purple, at least to me. Chosen Prime showed off coming from Fans Hobby. It's another use, of course, of their Megatron Galvatron mold. This is Mega Zarak. A lot of red. Nothing really new here to see other than the coloration. Might be a new head sculpt. I'm not even sure about that. And again, it looks good, but it's just that same Armada mold, right? And they're calling this coloration Mega Zarak. So make of that what you will. Yeah, it's in stock. It's $164.99 US. So, I mean, again, cool if you really like that Megatron body from Unicron Trilogy. As we go up, YOLO Park showed off Wave 3 minis. Is this? Yeah. We've seen these before, but it's just a chance to kind of get a better view of them all the way around. I really like the Orion Pax. I think it's very rich. I've said this before. I love the Allspark Blue as deep as it is on his chest. The Bumblebee looks fine. You got to be in for this Bumblebee body. I was never a huge fan of this particular body for him, but it's okay. I do like Ironhide and Ratchet. I think they look really cool. Very clean, well articulated, right down to, you know, the ankles, the way the like waist turns to give that arm across the body look. Ability to balance on one foot, impressive, right? Same thing down on one knee. You know, we've seen this kick before from Ratchet, right? And he can pull it off. Even leaning back, like it's hard to argue with what YOLO Park does do, even with the AMK minis. The detail, the love, the articulation, and the balance. That's the other thing we don't often talk about. The balance that they've managed to pull off, where you can get great poses, but they're weighted so well that you're able to pull off a lot of dynamic stuff fairly easily from what I've been told. And of course, that's the like translucent Megatron, right? And I think he's a chase. Like I think he's a bonus. As is the translucent movie Optimus. I don't know the difference really in these because I'm not up on the AMK minis. I guess the one with the metallic paint is probably a chase as well. I think I like the white, though, better than the metallic. I don't know about you guys, but I think I prefer the white. Something about the metallic just, I don't know. Same here. I prefer the solid coloration over this, but that's just me. Maybe you love all the clear stuff. It's so, I always find it so funny. people always complain about how fragile the clear stuff is, even though it's not. And then they clamor when they do clear versions of like these little model kits and stuff. Choose a side, guys. Choose a side. Transformers Retro Wheelie in hand. I mean, okay, it's wheelie. It's a deluxe. I feel like those toes are way pointed down too far, and they look real unnatural to me. This is obviously a toy coloration version, but I don't know. The feet just look funny to me. This, of course, being an animation guy, sometimes I'm like, man, the toy coloration is not that far off. Like with Sea Spray. I know that the blue should be darker. I know he should have his eyes. I was able to give him his eyes. I feel like I would have to do too extensive of a repaint on this for me to enjoy it. Like in looking at this, I think to myself, well, right away you need gray or silver on the knees and the feet and the lower legs. And that section that got his Autobot logo, that all needs to be painted an orange color and another Autobot logo put on. His face is totally off, but that's just me. In terms of the actual bot, I guess he's okay, but I wanted to go down to where? Here. Like there he is with Optimus. I think for Wheelie, Megatron, I think for Wheelie this is a bit too big. You know, there he is with Gears. Like Wheelie the same size as Gears? Is he? Is he the same size as Gears? Or Wind Charger? I know that those guys are like not around really when he's around, but I always felt like Wheelie was smaller. Isn't Wheelie like barely taller than Daniel? Like, isn't he like kind of slightly bigger than human? You know, is he the same size as Sea Spray? I didn't get it. He's bigger than Bumblebee? Like, no? That seems weird to me. I do feel like the Studio Series 1 is the more accurate size. I don't know if it's, you know, as good a quality. I doubt it, but it's the more accurate size. I'd like to know how solid the transformation is on that guy. I do like the silhouette of the alt mode. I like the length of the front of the vehicle. That's very accurate. And I like the positioning of the tires. That's very accurate. I like the alt mode. I like the alt mode way better than this alt mode. I feel like it's very successful in that cause, we'll say. And again, when we look at now the alt modes here, like, I don't know. Is his alt mode the same size as Brawn, as Gears, as Wind Charger? I just feel like Wheelie should be smaller. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. It's just a gut feeling I got. Dr. Wu, we saw renders last week. We saw the physical thing this week. Well, we have another render here with Metroplex. This, of course, is part of that same line that they got where he turns into a cube. This is the back of him. This is his city mode. This is his rolling aircraft carrier mode. I don't know what we call it. And I think it's the only picture, as a matter of fact. It is. But we've seen Black Zarek and Scorponok and Trypticon and Fort Max. I mean, you knew they were going to do Metroplex, right? And I'm pretty sure we have Omega Supreme, too. Actually, I thought we had Metroplex. Brent Miller will be at TFCon Toronto, July 10th to the 12th, 2026. Of course, he was the voice of Hotshot. Brent is the guy who told me that the voice acting for Unicron Trilogy was super duper rushed. He said it was so rushed. He said we would record it and they'd be like, yeah, that's good enough. Let's go. So that's why the quality is kind of iffy on it. I do find that his natural speaking voice is a lot like, or was anyway, I don't know if it still is a lot like Hotshots, to be honest with you. Now, I'm going to go in here, then I'm going to check in with you guys. These are obviously like product images from Takara for the MPG. Is this MPG? Yeah, or NPM, I mean. NPM Sideswipe. It looks good. No doubt about it. Trying to do tire feed is a rough way to go. You got to find something to solidify it. Or if you want it more G1 in red, you could do that. I see this and I get a lot of Dino vibes just because of the red, right? It's obviously Sideswipe, but just because of the red. But that That car mode looks beautiful. I think that looks way better than the silver. I think that's gorgeous. Missing Link Grimlock. He comes with a sword, a chromy one instead of like a red one. I found that interesting. His blaster and his little like rocket launcher thing. And he actually has a Diaclone driver this time. When we were all young kids, lads, we would get it. We wondered why he had a seat in his back. A lot of us didn't know that Diaclone was a thing, not in the 80s. Maybe you did. But in the 80s, in the North Atlantic, we didn't know what Diaclone was. But of course, you put the guy back in the seat. Here is a comparison between a G1 and Grimlock. Great Grimlock, like this, the great G1 pose. And then this, look at the guy. Look at the guy with knees. Look at the guy with even his little arms going out. His head is turned and his mouth is open. Of course, the legs. I think the way they handled the legs is sort of genius. I don't know quite how much of a range of motion they got. It's obviously more than nothing, which is what it had originally. And this looks pretty good. I love the way that they kind of done cuts in the sections right here on the shoulders and put a chunk in for the shoulder so it can go out. Always should have been that way, I think. Really, really impressed with that. Then we have Hot Rod. Hot Rod's been a hot topic. A lot of people saying it's an upsized version of the Studio Series 86. No, it's not. It looks like it. I get it. It looks like it, but it's not that. Some people have said the entire lower body is identical to Kingdom Rodimus. No, it's not. It's not identical to Kingdom Rodimus. I have taken both Hot Rod and Kingdom Rodimus, and I have compared them to these images pretty intently. That said, there are things on this that the Hot Rod for 86 should have had. You want to sell it as a Voyager, then you should have absolutely had the orange paint put back on the spoiler here. You should have absolutely had the yellow paint put on the wrist. By the way, this is still wrong on the wrist. It should still be vertical, not horizontal. See how it's horizontal? It should be vertical up and down. A lot of people speak to the back of the legs here as Kingdom Rodimus. They're not Kingdom Rodimus. They do fold in a lot of stuff, but it's not like Kingdom Rodimus. Also note the color, more of a gunmetal-y gray. Not that weird purple is the only thing I can think of to call it. That was on the 86. And I do think that the More Than Meets the Eye 86, if you want to call it that, has the lower legs a better color. But look at this. What color are those knees? Oh, you mean they're orange like the rest of the leg, like they're supposed to be? Who knew they should have been orange on the 86? Look at the elbows. You mean they can actually do the elbows with a red hinge like it's supposed to be? Who knew they should be red on the 86? It was, I'm just going to say, it was bullshit that they put out something that light for that price, but even more because you didn't even get the colors right. That's my gripe. This looks good, by the way. You'll notice he actually has hip skirts. There are a lot of similarities here to the 86 and to Kingdom Rodimus, but there's also a lot of differences here. Also, the whole roof is red without a yellow chunk on it. Who knew? Look at those more beautifully colored lower legs. I reckon he'll be about Voyager size in the end. This is that Lyo Convoy that I talked about that has all of the, I don't know, Anglomoise or whatever it's called, energy in him. And I think that's like Unicron's blood or something. But anyway, he's all greened up and it's a deep cut. If you don't know Beast Force 2, this isn't going to mean much to you. But what an interesting color scheme. Look at that mane. I think that's so cool. Great mold. Whether you got the Legacy, whether you got the Takara version, or whether you got this, get some version of that mold. It's really excellent. And he glows. That's the other thing. Dude glows. I think that's so cool. Look at that. Just look at that. Look how that pops. I love it. So I think if I was to pick out what I find the most interesting here, it would actually be the Hot Rod and the Lao Convoy. A lot of people are going to pick the Missing Link Grimlock. He's going to be real popular, no doubt about it. And I'll go to the other page, but then I'm going to check it with you guys before we go up through it because we only have one page of news left. Actually, you know what? Let's do the last page of news. Why not? We'll get it out of the way. Then I'll go back to you guys. We can do trivia. We can do this week's unboxing. That's down right here, and then we'll get out of it. No, he wasn't the unboxing. The Hound pre-orders, they're up. I saw a guy who took the images we have of Hound and compared them with the 5-pack. He wasn't sure if the coloring is slightly tweaked here or not. I'm not sure either. If the shades are tweaked, cool, but I don't think either one is wrong. This looks like the cartoon. That looks like the cartoon. Again, if they're tweaked, it's kind of like with the Galvatrons, right? Depending on what cell you're looking at, depending on what your reference point is, you might stick with the deeper purples like I did, or as was shown like with the Flint Dilly placeholder earlier, or maybe whatever you're referencing, you're like, man, he was a little bit bluer, and that's why you would go with the 86. Same thing here. I look at this and I think, and I took my Hound and compared it to the images. I think it's exactly the same. I think the colors are exactly the same, but I could be wrong. It could be slightly tweaked. Nothing major, nothing worth talking about with them. Great mold, really great mold, great Hound. We had some new images from Takara for some products we're familiar with, like Onslaught. There's something about Onslaught, man, that still feels off to me. I mean, I like him. He's right. And I can't put my finger on it at all. Maybe I'm just too comfortable with the Combiner Wars one. But here's what I do like. I do like that when you put him in the alt mode here, he can just be his alt mode by himself. You don't even need the trailer piece, which is nice because a lot of times you still need to have the trailer attached. But I like that you don't have to if you don't want to. Bruticus, this looks rough. Poor Bruticus looks rough. I don't like the green arms. And I got to say, if you're putting the ankle tilt, so to speak, way up here in the shin, and I'm real nervous about the longevity of this hinge joint right here. At least with the two we've had so far, the ankle tilt is kind of built in the leg. This time it's like part of the leg. I mean, what happens if you snap it right there? Then the whole lower leg is unusable. I don't know, man. I'm nervous about the way this is designed back here on the back of the leg. That does not look great. I hope it feels better in hand because it's not look great. That does look great. I like that. That looks great. Of course, his embankment still looks, I mean, it is what it is, but to me, this looks exceedingly like Bruticus is kneeling. And this is what I was talking about. Like, I look at this, and I know that you have sleeve Vortex on, but the arm's green. Vortex is just window dressing. The arm itself is green. Same thing here. Here's blast off. At least on the lower arm, you could fold the wings in over to hide some of the green. But again, it's just a sleeve on an arm. This is obviously a green arm. I don't know how I feel about that, man. But I do know how I feel about this. This always looks great. Really great. I'm going to use him as a double face. The other one that we recently got, I'm using as Noise Maze. And to me, Sideways proper will be the Studio Series one. And that's how I'm going to have all three molds as 3 different characters. All will be like generals of Unicron or something. Great looking mode here. Great looking mode here. And yes, of course, we've talked about this before with his rider and the 2 heads and stuff. Really impressed with that. I'm sure he's not going to be big, but I like the kind of package we're getting. Thundercracker, again, being very Thundercrackery. We already know that I don't even have this in hand, and I'm already smitten with it. The samurai stuff, if that's your thing, we've talked about that previously, and we're back to Onslaught. Going up here, of course, this is more in-hand images of sideways. I don't think we really have to go through them, other than I did want to, where he's a Voyager, I did want to compare him to, or see the comparisons to some other figs. So here he is next to another Voyager bike being Wreck-Gar. He seems to be kind of in scale with that. Certainly a much bigger bike than the Laser Cycle mold. Even a bit bigger than the, who is that? Chromia. You can see with some of the other Junkions, with Scourge, with Galvatron, a couple of Optimi, and a Megatron, and I guess that's the, I mean, this scale don't work. You know, this is obviously the War for Cybertron Bumblebee, and this is a motorcycle. But I think in a case like that, I prefer that we have the bot be in scale than the bike be in scale. These are just promotional videos. I'm not going into that. M Deluxe Scourge. I'm not going into all the, or not Scourge, Dirge. I'm not going into all of these. We've seen this mold a million times. I think this is a brilliant, beautiful use of it. I love all the panel detailing and line detailing. I love the detailing above his head up here. I love the detail on the face and the silver. Very beautiful. His null rays look great. His wings look great. Even his shoulder pylons look great. This is some of the in-hand images stuff. This came from a live stream that Takara did, where they had the Onslaught. I do think that looks better in hand, based on the lighting and whatnot. The head goes both ways. I like it. The lower legs still seem out of proportion to the thighs to me, but I do like it. Grimlock, they did a lot on Grimlock. So let's go down here and kind of see a bunch of what they showed here. Right, there's an original. There's the missing link. I don't want to go through all of these, but I want to get down to here maybe. Yeah, look up here on the top of the shoulders. There's a little cut, a little divot. That's what allows you to have the shoulder articulation. Also, note this chunk in the thighs. That chunk is what allows you to have some more of the leg articulation. Right? You can really see it cut out right here. And you can see how much the arm goes out. Quite a bit. Nice elbow. Nice deep 90-degree elbow. The fingers open and close. Like, honestly, where was this 30 years ago or 40 years ago, man? Again, you can see the legs give you full splits, but I mean, they could give you full splits before. That's the forward and the knee. So he has a lot that he is able to pull off. Here, you'll notice the top is all solid, but you can see the cutout divot here at the shoulder. And you can see behind the head, all solid. There's more tooling back here. Really quite impressive, I must say. And then they showed the side swipe stuff again. Let's go here. Very silver, very, very shiny, but so he should be. It looks great. Broken up with highlights of black and red and, of course, blue. And I thought all of that was great. I thought all of that was impressive. And then we went down to this guy. And man, do I like that red. I really think it's a very rich, I don't know if it's paint or if it's the plastic, but I find it's a really rich looking red. As we go up, we had this shown off today. It is Scourge. And I mean, we've seen Scourge before. I'm wondering if this shade is a little bit lighter than it was on the initial Scourge release. So when Scourge got released, he was a darker blue, and he had like a lighter blue on his face, his thighs, and around that edge. And then they done the sweep, and the sweep was a much lighter blue, almost a sky blue. And this stuff was really light, almost white. This feels like it's between those two extremes, but this still feels like the deeper blue that the original Scourge was. I love this mold. I think it was so well done for a Voyager. Well articulated. Interesting and more involved transformation than I expected, because I thought he'd just be a straight up shell former. And there is certainly a shell forming quality to him, but there is a bit more going on than that too. I see this and I'm like, man, perfect sweep. And I still think that for a mainline collection, what a dandy sweep. Again, if you're wondering what I think of Scourge, that review's already done, just like Nacelles is already done. Maybe I'll share them around on the weekend or something if I think about it. But you could certainly find them yourself, I'm sure. Yeah, very much like that. And then, do you remember Construct Bots? We actually had a bunch of them, and they were fun, but I wish they had been a little more solid than what they were. These are unproduced RID samples, basically. Actually, renders, I think. This would have been Bumblebee done as a Construct Bot, right, with the little chunks in there for his tires and stuff. Right, that would have, I think this is probably his feet. That would have been his car mode. Optimus. That would have been his truck mode. I think that one's a bit iffy. Sideswipe. This was Sideswipe. That would have been his car mode. And, of course, Steeljaw. I think Steeljaw's looks the best of all of them. I don't remember who this is offhand now. Some of these I'm not going to remember. Bumblebee. The bigger full-on Constructbot Bumblebee, not the small one. Same with Sideswipe, right? Where they had the big tires on the arms and stuff. I do like the look of this for Thunderhoof. I think that works real nice for Thunderhoof. And that's a pretty sinister looking tractor for Thunderhoof. I like Constructbots. I wish that the ball joints had worked a little better on them. I think that was their weakness. Stuff used to pop off the ball joints. I think if you had those perfect, I think they would have done better. But we did have a bunch of them, and they were fun for a time. And this, the GBO Killer Body Movie Rediscovery Project, MRP03, Revenge of the Fallen, Wheelie, new image and promotional video. Whoa. Anyway, I think it's supposed to be a masterpiece version of Wheelie from the movies. Looks good. No doubt about it. I don't know if I'd need it, but I guess if you're... I love his eyes. Like, look at those eyes. I really love his eyes. What a great job. Yeah, what a great job on the eyes. Impressive. And that's the news, my friends. Let's check in with you guys. I know I missed a bunch. Let's see what you guys were saying. I'm sure we'll get caught up here. Let's see. Probably about here. Amazon says March. I'm assuming you're talking about for Thundercracker. Apparently, there's a rumor that there are variant faces. I haven't heard that. I don't know what you're talking about for variant faces. My Walmart stocks nothing, but I saw Transformers 86 movie on Blu-ray for 30th anniversary. Yeah, you always get that sort of stuff, right? Blast Off is dope. Blast Off's all right. I like Blast Off is good, but he's exceedingly predictable. I think in the review I even forgot to show his instructions. I don't think I ever took them out because you don't need them with him. He's a very safe design. Let me put it to you that way. My cousin doesn't have Authentics, I think. Don't get him Authentics. Build a Master Sword. Yeah, basically, yeah, build a Master Sword, right? Am I the only person who thinks that the sword is kind of lackluster? And maybe, but I mean, it's a sword. How amazing is it? It's just a sword. Saw tons of Megatron Skeletor on clearance. I've only ever seen one of each. As we go down here, I'm definitely going to be skipping some stuff. Let's see. I really dig that B. You must be talking about the Devastation one. Yeah, I think it's a great looking B too. I'd buy that a dozen times over the Retro or 86. I agree. Classic B is quite good. Still has my favorite B head. Wow, being he is so big versus the other mass shifting, right? Mass shifting. Talking about how the Bumblebee one, the car was bigger, the other, the robot was bigger. I like the look of the Devastation Sideswipe, but I don't need more of that mold. Oh no, I mean I have the Earth mode Sideswipe. I don't need to get the Devastation one. I mean it's the same thing, right? Earthrise should have had cell shaded second chance in Gamer Edition. Maybe. Just buy an AS08 for $20 and put some cell shading on it. There you go. There you go. There's your Devastation Optimus. You're not wrong, Daryl. That purple is not quite as magenta as Kingdom, but not nearly as blue as no, it might be a little bit in between. But magenta? I don't think I would call it magenta. It was just a deep purple to me. And I would call it a little in between, but I think that the Kingdom Legacy is closer than the 86. That's just me. That's Erica's super limited release too. It is super limited release. It's only going to be from Chosen Prime as well. So get it, I guess, if you want. That sword by DNA Design is running on BBTS apparently for $46.49. So $50 for a sword. I don't know. Is that a good deal? 50 US for a sword? Seems expensive to me for a sword, but what do I know? That's a lot cheaper than I expected. I was expecting 70 for a sword. You got to put down the crack pipe. Next week, Next week going to be top 10 Transformers physical media. No, that's not next week's. It's still on the list, but it's not next week's. I don't know how many voters we're going to get for that because who gets physical copies anymore? I'll be interested to see how the voting for that goes. It is on the list, though. I debated getting Wheelie next week. The question's already up for next week. Do you mean the week after next? Maybe the week after next we'll do that. No promises, though. I think the core one will probably be a better choice for Wheelie. Obviously, me too. I have Wheelie ordered. I don't like the toy accurate coloration at all. Wheelie was human sized. See, that's the way I feel too, right? I mean, he's a car, but I assumed he was like a one-person vehicle, ideally like a cyber go-kart. Yes, I was always of the same impression, right? He wasn't a full-on vehicle. He had a little mode that one driver could use. That's the way I always took it too. Yeah. I didn't take him to be a minibot. I took him smaller than minibots. The red NPM side swipe reminds me of ROTF Swerve. Yes, I could see that as well. Absolutely. Hey, Grimlock Guy, been a while, buddy. On the fence on Missing Link Grimlock, depends on price. It's going to be expensive. I heard 189 US, I think, but I think I also heard 164. So by the time you're all said and done, you're going to be looking at 150 to 200. Hey, Jerry. It is not tea. It's just water. I'm a coffee guy. It's just water. And I do it because I talk all day. And then I come on the show and my voice gets a little raspy sometimes. So I need that. But you know what? You go get a tea. I can't argue with you. I've heard this is a modified Titan's Return. I could be wrong. I just heard it said, what's a modified Titan's Return? That Grimlock is neat considering they probably had a lot more work than other figures in development. I agree because the original molds were destroyed. Similar engineering, but not the same. You're probably talking about the Hot Rod. Old man yells at Hot Rod. It's not old man yells at Hot Rod. For the love of God, I keep saying this. People got to stop defending being scammed because that's all that happened to you. You got scammed. Just say it. Just say Hasbro got me. I got played. They scammed me. They overcharged me for a Voyager when really it was a deluxe, and it's not even a full deluxe. Just accept it. I accept it. They scammed me. I'll never buy another Hot Rod, just like I'll never buy another Shockwave. So yay, you scam me once. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But no, if anybody's going to sit there and try and defend it, you're wrong. You're objectively, mathematically, factually wrong. And it's only making you look stupid. Stop looking stupid because it reflects on the rest of us. It's called mutual obligation. What we do as a fan community affects everyone else. Hold the company accountable. Just because they make it, don't mean you got to like it. Just because they make it, ain't mean you got to accept it. But when you do, you set a bad precedent for all the other fans, and you're sending the company a bad message. Just stop it. It's not an old man rant. It's economics, it's facts, and it's reality. Come join me, please. Toothpaste Convoy. I love it. Toothpaste Convoy. Yeah, I know how to spell the Energy Master Power. I don't know how to pronounce it. Isn't Unicron's blood dark energy? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I can't remember. The Anglomoise or whatever it is something. I just don't remember what it is. And maybe it is Bloody Unicron. I don't remember. I don't remember now. It's been a long time since I watched it. Let's see as we go down here a bit. Magic Soundwave says Magic Square MP kills it. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not an MP guy, so I don't know. I've never in my life seen or handled anything from Magic Square, so I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not sure what the reference is. The face. I don't like Onslaught's feet. Already 3 deep into Combaticons. I think Onslaught needs those feet to be stable enough to stand, just like Silverbolt. His feet are gigantic too. Q4 for Bomberin upgrade. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. I don't know what that is at all. Let's see. As we go down here. You're making me drool, Dennis. I'm really liking the Missing Link Grimlock. Man, then get it if you want it. It's too late for me. I heard Sunstreaker mold was destroyed. It was. So he was a big deal too, much like Grimlock. Yeah, Constructbots were a lot like Lego Bionicle. I never ever experienced Bionicle, but I see the similarities. There's definitely homages there. I loved Constructbots. I thought they were neat too. I mean, we had a bunch of them. The boys had them and stuff, right? What's your take on SS04 KO Megatron? Nothing. It's a KO of the 86 Megatron. If it's as good a quality as the Optimus KO from AS Toys or even the MD, then I'm sure it's a fine Megatron. Again, of everything you could have fixed, why didn't you fix the color of the lower legs? Everything else looks great on it, but they should have fixed the color of the lower legs. How about is Deluxe? At least so is Brawl. They're cheating us. I don't have Brawl yet. Can't speak to it. For me, a lot of it's going to boil down to the mass. Like, you take Scrapper. You take Studio Series 86 Scrapper. He's small. You look at him and you say, that's Deluxe. But you put him on the scale. No, sir. He's a Voyager. The mass is there. Sometimes I live to be surprised. Look at the Wave 4 Deluxes for Age of the Primes. best set of deluxes we've had in a long time. You have, remember, traditional deluxe mass is 84 grams. I can't speak to the Junkion because I don't have them, but that's what, jalopy. The other four, Quintus is 100 grams. He's the biggest. He's the heaviest of them all. He has the most mass. That's huge for deluxe. Blastoff, I think, is 98. Huge for deluxe. Sure Shot and Spoil Sport, 86, I think. It's right there in the ballpark. And Quick Strike, 85, I think. Sure Shot and Quick Strike might be interchangeable. But 85, 86, 198. Sure, that's what I want. I want the paint. I want the engineering. I want the articulation. And I want the mass. Now you can charge me the price you're charging me. Because you have given me what I was used to for $20 and you have now enhanced it. You have kept my same value I always had and built upon it. That is how you do it. Will it continue? I don't know. Time will tell. Just picked up Solus. Enjoy. And if you're thinking about the Megatron, you know what? For the price, why not? It's going to be cheaper than trying to find the actual 86. I would get a Decepticon logo. Slap it on the chest. I'm sure it'll be fine. Will it have quite the fit and finish? Time will tell. But I don't see any reason not to. Let me put it to you that way. Terry says, Hasbro will 100% release an 86 Megatron repaint. I bet you they will too. And I'm getting real sick of them playing these games and releasing something that's almost there and then later on releasing the same thing that is there. I think that that's very dirty business. And I can't speak for you guys, but man, am I getting tired of that trick. Real tired of it. Okay, let's do the trivia. Oh, wait, the trivia is from Dragonfly. He already knows it. So Dragonfly, you can answer because I know you already know it. The trivia this week. I'm going to go to my other email because that's where it's at. Here we go. The trivia this week. What car, real life car, was Hot Rod inspired by? The 1971 Maserati Boomerang. B, so that's A, the 1971 Maserati Boomerang. B, the 1970s Lancia Stratos HF0. C, the 1979 Aston Martin Bulldog. D, the 1978 Japanese Dome Zero. And he gave an E, 1974 Lamborghini Bravo. A, B, C, D, or E. A, again, was a Maserati. B was the Lancia Stratos. HF0. C was the Aston Martin. D was the Japanese Dome Zero. And E was the Lamborghini Bravo. B, D, A, B, D. The answer is D. It was the 1978 Japanese Dome Zero. It was the direct inspiration. It had a top speed of 139 miles an hour. If you look at it, if you look up a Japanese Dome Zero, I'm telling you, certainly I don't know if I can, maybe I can show. Can you see that? Look at that. Just look at that. That's very Hot Rod-esque, if you ask me. There's, by the way, here. Come on. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, cool, I guess. I like it. So, yeah, it was D. Absolutely. And the unboxing, and then we can get out of here. So I already showed you guys, of course, this lad, and you already know that he is re-released. Next week's reviews will be that upgrade kit for Alchemist Prime, as well as the last of the Wave 4 Age of the Primes Deluxes, at least that I'm looking at, because Jalopy I don't have. If I get Jalopy, I'll look at it. But right now, I don't think there'd be a lot to say about it. It's that same Junkion mold. The only one that's left that we haven't looked at this point is, let's see, we looked at Quintus. We looked at Blastoff. Tomorrow is going to be Sure Shot, which means Tuesday is going to be Quick Strike. And I guess next Friday will probably be the upgrade kit. And then the following week. So next week will be Quick Strike and the upgrade kit. The following week will be. Oh, let me grab that while I'm at it. Will be Bone Shaker, right? Who is great. Man, is he great. And Twin Mill, who just came today. Haven't even opened him yet. Let's rip Twin Mill out right now. Let's say, oh, he got things on him that I don't think I should get him out. Yeah. Yeah. I've heard that Twin Mill is not as good as Bone Shaker. Time will tell, but I'm going to say this much for Twin Mill. Man, oh man, is this clean. This is real clean. But does that mean it's good? Time will tell. We will find out. Not next week, because remember, I already told you what next week will be. We'll find out week after next. Here, let's put this in. By the way, if you haven't voted yet, this week, the voting is up for this. Best packaging, your favorite packaging. And it's actually been a really active round of voting. So go figure. Yeah, I'm excited to take a look at this guy. I gotta say, was really impressed with Bone Shaker. We will see. That said, we're done. We've done trivia. We know that Japan had a big influence on Hot Rod. I've done the unboxing here with the Hot Wheels lad Twin Mill. We've gone through the news, and I even reminded you that, hey, the review for this guy is up because I done it a couple of years ago. If you don't have him, it's a great seeker to add to your ranks as well. And with that, my friends, I am going to... Oh, where is my thing? I'm going to do that. And I'm going to thank you for coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through spring. Or, of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you're at it, hit the subscribe button. Stick around and have some fun with us here on the channel. And don't forget, man, not for a moment, not for a second, that you right there, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way, inside the videos. Have a safe weekend, folks.